Hadley is a great speaker, a great coach, and has done a lot of amazing work around forgiveness and also spiritual counseling. Welcome, Jennifer. We're glad to have you on with us today.
Thank you, Andrew. I'm so happy you invited me.
Yeah. So, Jennifer, could you tell us a little more about your work? We have an upcoming workshop called Forgive and Be Free. What is the importance of forgiveness and what does it offer?
Sure. Well, actually, it's a 4-day retreat. It's not a workshop. It's a whole retreat. So we can really dive deep and do a lot of healing work, which is my main focus. I've been teaching spiritual classes for over 20 years and specifically helping people with forgiveness, resentments, regrets, and guilt, blame, shame. For 18 years now, I've been teaching and leading workshops and retreats on this topic. And what I've found over all these years is that many of us don't really understand how to forgive. So we get this idea that something has happened that we feel terrible about. And it might be that something has happened to us. It might be that something has happened to someone else. Rather, someone else has done it to us, or we've done it to ourselves, or we've done it to someone else, and we just can't seem to let go of it. Although we've said many, many times, I forgive, I forgive, I forgive. The true forgiveness has not actually happened. And so that's where I help facilitate people to the place where they now feel peaceful about it forever. And one of the things that naturally occurs as a result, we find, is that, of course, relationships improve. Of course, people's health improves. It's quite remarkable how so many people have come and done the work with me who have had chronic issues, digestion issues, arthritis, different kinds of chronic pain, certainly depression and whatnot. And they've had what they feel are extraordinary healings as a result of doing it. It takes so much physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual energy to hold on to the upsets from the past. And so we can it takes my breath away every time I do it, how much people can accomplish in just a couple of days. So that's why we have, it's 3 nights. It starts on a Thursday and it ends on a Sunday. And it's usually a small group or an intimate group. It's not some huge, huge group where we really, really do the work of healing. And I love the testimonials I get that people who thought they were for sure going to get divorced are now just having a total rebirth in their marriage, or people who felt depressed for many, many years now. They're not depressed at all anymore. And the thing is that so many people have things from their childhood, from their teen years, from their early years, and that just keep bothering them. So I'm going to be perfectly honest here. It's all kinds of things. It's people who've been molested, or their spouse left them or betrayed them in some way. Sometimes it's their children, and sometimes things happen where their children have become drug addicts, or they've died, or things like this, or they've married someone they don't like. All kinds of things that people can't seem to forgive. And maybe they don't even realize forgiveness is involved in moving on and letting go of the upset. So when people tell me that because this is very common, Andrew, that people will say, I have forgiven this so many times. I've forgiven my father raping me when I was a child. I've forgiven that my mother left my father and we had to go live in this poor place, or whatever it might be. I've forgiven so many times, but I can't seem to get over it. and I can't seem to let it go. And that's the thing I don't understand. How can I do that? And so for me, what I've learned in these 18 years of studying forgiveness and teaching forgiveness and supporting people and doing the work and doing my own difficult work is that there is a way to do this forgiveness, and it really has to do with looking at it, looking at the meaning we made of it, the interpretation of it. What are we blaming ourselves for that we don't even know how to look at? And so in this retreat setting, in this immersion setting, we can actually go through it, move through it, come out the other side and feel complete. And that is miraculous for people and living the rest of their life. And it's a great gift that people give to themselves. And it does require courage. It requires courage. And that's why the way I like to offer these retreats is that we also have a lot of laughter and we have some play and some fun. And that's one of the things that often surprises people who are new to working with me is they'll say, Jennifer, oh my God, we laughed so much. How do we laugh so much on this topic that's so painful? Well, there many times we can flip from crying to laughing when we shift our perspective. And it might seem impossible, but I've just done it with so many people. And so here's the thing. The holidays are coming. And the holidays are oftentimes when we have two choices. We have three choices, let's say. We can avoid anything with our family at all, and many people make that choice. Another thing we can do is we can re-energize or reinvest in the same old hurts and the same old offenses and the same old upsets. I am an expert at that. I used to go into Thanksgiving, which is always the time of my birthday, and Christmas. I would go into that trifecta of Thanksgiving, my birthday, and Christmas, and I would expect to be disappointed again. I would expect to be hurt even more. And of course, I would be right. And I decided out of self-love not to do that to myself anymore. But I had to learn some skills and tools to use in order to do that. And what I know is forgiveness in this way, it's preemptive. So we get out ahead of the events. And because of our spiritual connection with all beings, we can actually shift those relationships and those experiences before the holidays happen. So that's why I have planned this retreat again for the third year in a row at Art of Living in the beginning of October. So people have plenty of time to make that inner shift and change before the holidays come. Because one of my favorite things in the whole world is when somebody will say to me, Jennifer, I just came back from Thanksgiving with my family. And honestly, I used the last time I thought I was never going to have Thanksgiving with my family ever again. Because of doing the forgiveness work, I thought I'm going to try one more time. And it was the best Thanksgiving I've had in a decade, or things totally shifted in my family. You were right. It's so miraculous. I have that all the time with people who are willing to do this work. So I invite everyone to just look, would this be useful to you? Because your inner guide will know. You will know. And that's why I also time it, Andrew, with my spiritual counseling training intensive, which I know you're going to ask me about. So I'll just go ahead and tell you about it. So I've been doing this intensive training a couple times a year for a number of years now, and I do have a certification program, and this is part of it. But anyone is welcome to come to this spiritual counseling training intensive. It's a week-long training, and I pair it with the Forgive and Be Free retreat so that those who really would like to do that deep personal work, they can do them together, and that just makes it easier for them. They only have to travel one time, but also they don't lose any momentum. So I train people who are professionals like attorneys and business people, people who are professional counselors already, people who are longtime therapists, psychologists, family therapists, life coaches, people who are simply their grandparents or their parents, or just thinking of many of the people who would like to switch into a spiritual career and have a lot of interest in doing counseling, would like to explore without making a huge investment. And so what we do in that week is, in addition to actually learning about spiritual counseling as different from other kinds of coaching, or for people who are acupuncturists and medical doctors, they'll come to improve their communication. So people come to improve their communication in all their relationships, all their conversations, improving their ability to listen and their ability to ask helpful questions and to be compassionate. So those are the main things that we cover. And it is a great immersion, and part of the process of doing the spiritual counseling training intensive is that people get an opportunity to do a lot of counseling and just practice in that week and see the difference between spiritual counseling and just having a conversation with people, spiritual counseling and being having a therapeutic or a coaching conversation, or even for attorneys talking with new clients or talking with difficult clients, grandparents talking with their grandchildren, all kinds of ways that we can learn to deepen our ability to listen and to share in ways that are really healing and helpful. So it's life skills, and because you get so much counseling in that week, because you'll be doing counseling sessions every day and practicing, you'll also be the client every day. And so in that experience, people personally have the experience of having the healing in those spiritual counseling sessions. And so people always tell me they feel afterwards, they feel so renewed and restored and refreshed because they actually do a lot of inner healing as a result. So that's why I put these two events back to back for those who would like to really make a huge shift in their life. And that for me is the important thing. I have learned a long time ago as a spiritual student myself that information, spiritual information, is not healing to me. Reading books is not healing to me. And even going to retreats and workshops and events, taking classes, is not healing to me. What's healing to me is doing my own inner work. So I like to create an environment where people feel really safe, really comfortable doing the uncomfortable work, the deep work that most of us avoid. And one of the great benefits is, and this is not actually well known to people. So when people are interested in spirituality and in living a happier life, what people don't realize is the time that you take to clear the trash out of your mind, to clear the junk out of your heart, it actually saves you so much time, money, and energy, as well as pain and suffering, to clear all of that out. Because when our mind is more clear and our heart is more clear, we're going to make better choices. We're going to make more effective choices. And we're going to hear our intuition more clearly. And my intuition saves me so much time every single day. Because it used to be that you might make all kinds of phone calls, send all kinds of emails, drive all over town, trying to figure something out or trying to find the right item or whatever the task is. But when you can intuitively, easily discern what the fastest path is, I mean, that is a huge savings of time, energy, and money. So clearing out, I call it clearing the clutter or taking out the trash from ourselves on an emotional and mental level, it actually helps us to heal our body faster. And oh my gosh, I could spend all afternoon here telling you about the benefits that I see in the people I work with. So these two events are to help people who want to go deep and do the work, and they have at least a little bit of willingness. They're willing to put some energy into eliminating the causes of their pain and to learning better skills to navigate our world and our relationships. And I'm timing it for the holidays so that those who would like to really be that fulcrum point of change in their family and make a difference, they can do that. They'll feel supported. Plus, we always find after the retreats that people stay in touch with each other. Some people have made really good friends on these retreats, and so that extra support from the community can really help carry people through the holidays. So I've talked and talked and talked. Do you have any more questions?
No, it sounds wonderful, Jennifer. It sounds like a very profound impact both on the emotional level as well as the physical level. And it's also at a well-timed time of year. It would also be absolutely beautiful in Boone. If you are interested in this powerful retreat and training combo or either one, you'll find a link to both in the comments section below. Check it out. Jennifer's a wonderful teacher, and as she shared a lot of really solid benefits around the practice. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Yeah, thank you for asking me. And I have to say that this is my third time, I think, coming to Art of Living in October. And I just love being there in October. That fresh mountain air is so beautiful. The views are spectacular. The leaves are beginning to turn. And as always, that food is so nourishing. I can't wait to be there myself.
We look forward to welcoming you again, Jennifer, and also all the retreat participants. Look forward to welcome you. Come out to Boone. It's a beautiful place and an amazing program. And wishing everyone a thriving week ahead. Thank you again, Jennifer.